Revenge appears to have begun, as forces linked to Mojtaba Khamenei are reported to have launched missiles targeting U.S. military bases across the region. The Persian Gulf is rapidly turning into an active war zone, with Iran unleashing a fresh wave of missile strikes against American military sites. Kuwait's skies lit up with explosions as its military confirmed a new round of hostile missile and drone attacks. The U.S.-Iran conflict is now spreading across the Gulf, as the ceasefire memorandum appears to have completely unraveled. An IRGC-linked channel claimed that Iran launched a large-scale missile attack targeting multiple U.S. military bases across the Middle East. The channel said several American military facilities were struck, though it did not disclose the exact locations of the targets. Kuwait's military confirmed that its air defense systems were actively intercepting hostile missiles and drones over the country. The Kuwaiti army said, and I quote, "The Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting hostile missile and drone attacks." The General Staff of the Army notes that if explosion sounds are heard, they are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is kindly requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Kuwait said the explosions heard across the country were caused by its air defense systems intercepting incoming threats. The Kuwaiti army urged residents to strictly follow official safety instructions as the attacks unfolded. Tasneem News reported that the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain was targeted once again on July 9th. Local sources quoted by Tasneem also reported fresh explosions in Bahrain following Iran's latest attacks. The latest wave of strikes marks a significant escalation in the rapidly worsening military confrontation between the United States and Iran. The Persian Gulf has now emerged as the latest flashpoint in the expanding regional conflict. Iran's retaliation has intensified fears that the conflict could spread further and draw multiple Gulf states into a broader regional war.
We just hit them very hard, and I'd say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
The United States has launched another wave of strikes inside Iran, as powerful explosions were reported across several cities in the country's south. President Donald Trump says he personally ordered fresh retaliation after Iran targeted commercial shipping in the region. Iran has once again come under U.S. attack, as Donald Trump warns that every future Iranian strike will be met with an even harsher response. Explosions have rocked Bushehr and Jask, with reports suggesting fresh U.S. military action deep inside southern Iran. Donald Trump has now vowed a 20-1 retaliation policy, promising overwhelming force for every Iranian attack.
We just hit them very hard, and I'd say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
Are we returning to a full-scale military conflict, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. We'd win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem.
Fresh reports claim the strategic port of Chabahar has come under attack as Washington expands its military campaign against Iran. Donald Trump says the latest U.S. strikes were significantly stronger than previous operations, describing them as a direct response to Iran's actions. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claims the United States deliberately targeted critical infrastructure around Chabahar port during the latest strikes. Iran is now threatening a large-scale missile and drone response against American military bases across the region. Explosions reported across southern Iran have intensified fears that the conflict could spiral into a much wider regional war. Donald Trump has placed Iran on notice, warning that any future attack on U.S. interests will trigger even deadlier retaliation. The latest U.S. strikes have pushed the Iran conflict into an increasingly dangerous phase, with tensions rising across the Middle East. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says the country's air defense systems actively engaging what it describes as hostile aerial targets. Military tensions across the Persian Gulf continue to surge as the United States expands strikes against Iranian targets. Qatar has reportedly raised its national security threat level and advised residents to remain indoors as tensions across the Gulf continue to escalate. After commercial ships were attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, Donald Trump says Washington responded with another round of powerful strikes. Iran has promised that retaliation is inevitable, even as the United States continues military operations inside the country. The entire Middle East remains on edge after Donald Trump warned that even stronger strikes could follow if Iran escalates again. Both Washington and Tehran are exchanging fresh threats, raising concerns that the ceasefire has effectively collapsed. Iran's deputy foreign minister says there will be no negotiations with the United States following the Switzerland meeting, while sharply criticizing Donald Trump.
We make no distinction between American officials. They have all pursued hegemonic and arrogant policies. However, the president that America is currently facing does not recognize international structures, nor international responsibility and rights. He constantly uses offensive language against various countries, and this tone, as you have well pointed out, is indeed representative of American society in this regard. It is fitting for all the insults that have been directed at the noble Iranian nation. It has been almost 3 weeks since the Memorandum of Understanding was signed with America. Whether that is considered a long time or not, we have not yet commenced negotiations with the U.S. I am informing you that although technical working groups were formed after the Switzerland meeting, these technical working group meetings have not yet taken place. For example, they were supposed to be held last week, but due to the aggressive action that occurred following certain incidents in the Strait of Hormuz and the actions the U.S. regime took against some of our sites, we canceled that meeting. We informed the American side that Iran would not participate in those talks.
The IRGC claimed it launched retaliatory strikes on 85 U.S. military sites in Bahrain and Kuwait on July 8th. Iran accused Washington of violating the ceasefire by carrying out fresh airstrikes across southern Iran. The IRGC said the latest U.S. attacks were deliberately timed to overshadow Ali Khamenei's state funeral. Iran also claimed its forces shot down what it described as an American MQ-9 Reaper drone during the latest exchange. IRGC's statement read, and I quote, "Following the epic of the great Iranian nation in the unprecedented and glorious funeral of the enemy-busting and unique era and martyred leader of the Islamic nation, the aggressive U.S. regime, whose dimensions of its defeat are becoming more apparent day by day, and considers the global reflection of the huge and millions of proud Iraqi people in the wake of the history-making martyred Mujahideen leader as a greater defeat for itself, once again repeated its habit of breaking the agreement and terrified to overshadow this historical event, the child-killing and terrorist U.S. Army in the early hours of this morning openly violated the ceasefire and violated the Islamabad understanding by launching an airstrike on a number of coastal bases and civilian stations on the coasts of Hormozgan and Mahajah provinces. In the initial response to this aggression, the naval and aerospace forces of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, through joint missile and drone operations, destroyed 85 important U.S. military installations in Port Salman, Bahrain's 5th naval area, and Kuwait's Ali Salem Air Base, and shot down an enemy MQ-9 drone that was trying to interfere in the operation. Victory is only from Allah, the Almighty, the Wise, unquote. The IRGC said the enormous turnout at Khamenei's funeral reflected what it described as America's strategic defeat in the region. The IRGC spokesman claimed Iranian air defenses shot down a US MQ-9 Reaper drone over Bushehr province. Iran said the drone was destroyed after what it described as a fresh wave of American military aggression. The claims came as Washington warned Tehran that any further attacks on U.S. forces would carry serious consequences. U.S. Central Command said on July 8 that American forces carried out precision strikes against more than 80 targets across Iran. According to CENTCOM, the operation followed Iran's recent attacks on commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. military released details of the operation in an official statement issued on July 8. CENTCOM said more than 60 Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps fast attack boats were destroyed in and around the Strait of Hormuz. Washington accused Iran of violating the ceasefire and undermining freedom of navigation through one of the world's busiest maritime corridors. CENTCOM warned that U.S. forces remain fully prepared to hold Iran accountable if attacks continue. U.S. Central Command statement read, and I quote, U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, forces completed a new round of offensive strikes against Iran, July 7th, hitting over 80 targets with precision munitions as an immediate response to Iran's latest attacks on commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. forces struck Iranian air defense systems, command and control networks, coastal radar sites, anti-ship missile capabilities, and more than 60 Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps small boats in and near the strait to degrade Iran's ability to continue attacking international commerce flowing through the international trade corridor. Iran recently attacked 3 commercial vessels transiting the strait, including Marshall Islands-flagged MT Al-Rikayat, Saudi Arabia-flagged MT Wedyang, and Liberian-flagged MT Cyprus Prosperity. The unwarranted aggression by Iranian forces is a clear and dangerous violation of the ceasefire and undermines freedom of navigation. CENTCOM forces remain postured and prepared to hold Iran accountable when the agreement is not adhered to or obeyed. Unquote.